everybody, and if you could remain muted until we have Q&A, that would be wonderful. Ken Smith, would you like to say a few words on the great Dr. Wallach before we get started today?
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, I want to thank everybody that's turning up for these calls, and firstly, and I'd like to thank them for bringing extra people on, because Doc is, you know, I mean, Doc is an amazing human being. I've known him for over 30 years now, and I was just a baby when he first met me, but that's okay. No, this man is absolutely brilliant. You know, he speaks at the UN. He's got books, he's got everything. And, you know, if we can just bring people to Doc and, you know, they can bring their questions to Doc, it's just absolutely awesome. There's no question about it. I know, I mean, Doc has saved my life twice. I absolutely have no doubt about that. And he's in the process of doing it again. I wish I didn't bother him so much. But anyway, Doc, let's open it up to you, and then we'll have Q&A afterwards. But
okay,
let's do it.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Jamel, and thank you everybody for being on. And today I'm going to teach you how to end this COVID pandemic. Okay, it's very easily gotten rid of, and I've spent, as you say, about a month ago, I spent quite a bit of time at the World Health Organization IT data to kind of put the cherry on the parfait, so to speak. But I've been working on this for a year, and I said these things a year ago, but I've got all the proof now. Okay, so let's look at Australia with 25 million people. 25 million people. You have 27 as of today, 27,000 COVID infections and 907 deaths. Now, there's two other countries who have similar populations, Thailand and Texas. And well, Texas is a state in the United States, but they think they're a country. But they all have about the same 25 million population. And Taiwan has 597 infections and 7 deaths. You guys have 27,000 infections and 907 deaths. And Texas has 1 million infections and 19,000 deaths. So why is it that Taiwan has so few infections and so few deaths? Because they have the same population as Texas and Australia. Well, Taiwan lives on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables and fish, okay? And there's no gluten in rice and sweet potatoes. Whereas Australia, you guys, you know, eat a lot of wheat in your beer and bread and all that kind of stuff. And the little villi in your intestines go away, and your efficiency of absorption goes way down. And so you don't get the nutrients to your bone marrow to make white blood cells and platelets to go kill and eat the viruses. And then Japan, let's see here. Well, excuse me, Texas, like I say, has 1 million infections and 19,000 deaths. That's because, right, they border Mexico, and probably 30 to 40% of their inhabitants are Latinos from Mexico. And they live, everything they drink and eat is wheat, flour tortillas and noodles and beer and all that kind of stuff. And so they have 993,000, almost 1 million infections and 19,000 deaths. You guys have 27,000 infections and 900 deaths. And of course, Taiwan, which lives on rice and sweet potatoes, has 597 deaths, infections and 7 deaths. Now, let's look at another couple of interesting, 66 million people in Thailand and England has 1.25 million infections and 51,000 deaths. Thailand has 66 million population, and they have 3,800 infections and only 60 deaths. What's the difference? Well, Thailand lives on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables and fish, whereas the UK, everything is wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay. Now let's look at the Philippines. They have 109 million. They have population. They have 402,000 infections and 7,000 deaths. And let's see here. let's look at another couple of, let's look at Egypt with 100 million population. They have 110,000 infections and 6,000 deaths, very similar to the Philippines. All right. Now let's look at Nigeria and Brazil, two countries with very similar populations, about 210 million people. But Nigeria has 64,000 infections, and Brazil has 5 million, almost 6 million infections. Nigeria has 1,100 deaths, and Brazil has 164,000 deaths. So what's the difference between Brazil and Nigeria? Because they have the same population. The difference is their diet. Okay, Brazil eats a lot of bread and wheat and oats and things like that. And Nigeria primarily eats rice and corn, no gluten. Okay, and let's look at one more here. It's kind of telling. Let's look at the difference between Mexico and Japan. Both of them have about 125 million people, and Japan has 113,000 infections. Mexico has 1 million. Mexico has 97,000 deaths, and Japan has 1,800. Well, a huge difference there, and that's because Japanese live on nothing but rice and sweet potatoes, and in Mexico, everything they eat and drink is wheat. Everything they eat, drink, and eat is wheat. Okay. Let's look at one more here. Let's look at the state of California and Canada. Both of them have about 38 million population. California, the state, US, and Canada. And Canada has 282,000 infections and 10,000 deaths. California has 1 million infections and 18,000 deaths, about double the deaths that Canada has, but 4 times the number of infections. And that's because Canada eats a lot of corn and rice, whereas California, 30% of the population is Latino from Mexico, and everybody eats wheat, barley, rye, and oats. And so the problem here is when you cannot absorb nutrients, your bone marrow gets what's called a dysplasia, and the bone marrow fills up with scar tissue and fat, cannot make white blood cells, which go through the bloodstream to kill and eat the viruses. You cannot make stem cells to make antibodies, which go through the bloodstream to kill the viruses. And you cannot make red blood cells and platelets. And that's why people go to the doctor every month to get a B12 and an iron shot. Once every month or two, they're going to get a transfusion so they can get platelets and red blood cells from somebody else. And that's because their bone marrows are dead, because they've been eating gluten for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And when you look at a 3-year-old that gets the COVID, their temperature might go up 0.5 degree Fahrenheit, you know, from 98.6 to 99. That's not a fever. And then they will get mild common cold-like symptoms for 3 days, and it's over with. Nobody dies. That's because they've only been eating gluten for 6 months to a year or two. But when you've been eating gluten for 60, 70, 80 years, you have these pre-existing conditions, which Dr. Milan and I have written up in Hell's Kitchen. A kitchen is a place of hell or heaven, depending on what you're doing there. But all these pre-existing conditions, okay, such as obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney failure, and so forth, set you up for COVID because you can't, they're kind of a red warning light. They say, look, you're not absorbing nutrients. We can't make red blood cells and platelets. We can't make all this the white blood cells that's necessary to kill the bad guys. And so you're going to just have to die. And so that's how it works. Well, if everybody were to eat like an Asian and just live on rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables and fish and red meat, within 90 days, the COVID would go away. Within 90 days, the COVID would go away. It's just that simple. And, you know, I have so many diseases that I've dealt with, that people have diseases for 30 years and in 30 days they're gone. They have diseases for 25 years and in 2 weeks' time it's gone, because we dealt with the nutritional part of it instead of telling the patient that you have a genetic problem. Okay, well, doctors don't know anything about nutrition, so they believe that all these diseases are caused by genetics. Now, the original doctor, the one who started modern day medicine, and who is listed as the father of modern medicine, is a guy by the name, let's see here, of Hippocrates. That was 2,300 years ago. He came up with the Hippocratic corpus in the year 350 BC, and he set up all these rules. Well, that's been running for 2,300 years. The rules are still in place. Now there's new machines, okay, to make diagnoses. There's new antibiotics and that kind of stuff, but their thinking is the same. They still believe that all these diseases are genetic or autoimmune. So I came up with what we call the Wallach corpus, and we're changing all the thinking of people who are helping people with their health. It's a 2 CD set. The Wallach corpus is replacing the Hippocratic corpus, okay, which is 2,300 years old. And it's been approved, it's at the printer, so we'll be shipping them by next week. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I urge you to contact your Youngevity distributor, and we're going to be dealing with the Wallach corpus. Okay, we have, again, the book Hell's Kitchen. We have the book Immortality, which goes into the top longevity cultures on Earth, the peoples who live the longest, the book Immortality, okay? And what we did was look at, and there's a CD that goes along with it, same way with the Hell's Kitchen, there's CDs that goes along with it. We looked at what they did and what they avoided. Okay, it's all in the book Immortality. It'll add 25 to 50 years to your life. And then we have the book Epigenetics. There's a 2 CD set called Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission, okay? And so the book and the 2 CD set are available now. And everybody needs to read this stuff, because you know at this time that we have no problem in preventing and reversing these diseases.
Link, and keep your chat box open, because that's how I can get the questions to Doc. And I just put a link to Dr. Wallach's official bookstore there as well in the chat box.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think I've covered all the countries that I want to cover. I do want to cover one more country, and that's India. Let's look at India with 1.4 billion people. They have the same population as China, and 1.4 billion. And India has 8.7 million infections and 128,000 deaths. Okay, so what's going on with India? Well, they have 29 states and 7 territories. And I spent 3 weeks going through the World Health Organization database. And I talked to them and I said, okay, do the people in India, in all 29 of their states, do they have the same percentages of infections and deaths from COVID? They said, oh, no. No, in the top 1/3, where they have 9 states, they have 95% of the deaths and 86% of the infections. In the southern 2/3 of India, where they have 20 states and 7 territories, they have 5% of the deaths and 14% of the infections. So what's the difference? They're all the same people. Well, it turns out that the top tier of India, the top 1/3, where there's 9 states, they all eat wheat because they live in the mountains and they can't grow rice. And the bottom 2/3, where they have 20 states and 7 territories, they all eat rice and sweet potatoes because they live in the swamps and the forest. And the ones in the south don't have any gluten problems, and they can absorb nutrients. And that's why the ones in the south have 5% of the deaths and 14% of the infections. And the ones in the north who eat wheat have 95% of the deaths and 84% of the infections. And so they're all the same people. So that was a good little piece of information there. And it shows you, even in one country, if people eat differently, they're going to have a different rate of infections and deaths from COVID and other pandemics as well. Okay. And so I want everybody to begin to eat like an Asian, eat more rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables. You can have fish. You can have, for breakfast every morning, I have 3 eggs. I have smoked salmon from Alaska. I will have rice, sweet potatoes, I have yogurt that's gluten-free and sugar-free. And of course, I have all my supplements. And I haven't eaten cereal or have pancakes and waffles for 72 years. I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 72 years. And so that's why in a couple of months, I'll be 82. And there's no, I don't have any diseases. I've had injuries because, dealt with, especially up in Canada, in their construction sites. I do have injuries from that, but I don't have any diseases. No high blood pressure, no diabetes, no kidney failure, no arthritis. I don't have any of that stuff. And so I know that this diet and the supplement program work. We've had so many people with obesity, and obesity is one of the biggest pre-existing conditions that sets you up for having a bad experience with COVID. So I want everybody to lose that half a pound to 2 pounds a day with our keto caramel diet, 2 of the 3 meals a day. You can lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. Get down, you can lose 60 pounds a month and get down to where you're supposed to be. And your risk of getting COVID and dying of COVID is reduced to almost 0. And so just remember, it's up to you to make this happen. Don't get a gastric bypass. Don't get the surgery. Okay, doctors kill more people than communists. Okay, that was Johns Hopkins. They came out with that just, I don't know, it was a 7-year study they published about 4 weeks ago. And they said in American hospitals alone, the number 1 cause of death was complications of treatment of heart disease. The number 2 cause of death in American hospitals each year was the complications of cancer treatment. The number 3 cause of death, this is the one I loved, the number 3 cause of death in American hospitals each year was medical errors. Medical errors, they said each year through medical errors in American hospitals, medical doctors kill, that's the word they use, kill 251,000, 440,000 patients in their hospitals. How many businesses other than medical doctors could stay in business if they killed 251,000 to 440,000 of their customers in their workplace every year? If you kill 2, they're going to shut you down. But doctors can kill 251,000 to 440,000 every year, and there's no problem. So it's best if you do as much for yourself as you can. Obviously, if you get run over by a truck and you're unconscious and you're bleeding internally, you got to go to an emergency room. But when it comes to these chronic diseases, okay, all these pre-existing conditions, which, you find in this book here, which are all easily reversible and preventable, Hell's Kitchen. And then, of course, they're also in the book in the CD set, Epigenetics, the Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. You can take care of these things yourself. The test strips, for instance, for diabetes cost you $1.50. You don't need a prescription. You go to the pharmacy and get a bottle of 3 of them. So that's $4.50 for 3 of them. You don't need to go to a doctor to see if you're obese. You just step on a scale, and if you're 25 pounds over your ideal weight for your height and age, you're obese. You don't have to go to a doctor to get a diagnosis of arthritis. You don't have to go to a doctor to get a diagnosis of high blood pressure. You do it yourself. And so this is where we come in, and this is why we created Youngevity, and we spread around the world to save as many as we could. And of course, we have, again, the Wallach corpus, which is replacing the Hippocratic corpus, which is 2,300 years old. The Wallach corpus, the CD set is now being printed. It'll be, we'll be taking orders this week and shipping next week. We're very excited about it. And because by changing how people think about these diseases and how they can do them themselves, prevent them, get rid of them, you won't go to a doctor and get killed. So back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. Excuse me. We have a lot of questions today, and if you have your chat box open, you can put your question in there for Dr. Wallach, and I'll put a little list there. If I can just know who you are, where you're from, age, height, weight, and health problem, you can talk to Dr. Wallach yourself. I want to thank everybody, especially Dr. Wallach, for these calls. This will be week number 15. They are recorded. and submitted to the New Zealand official page, which means if you're a customer or a distributor, you can go and listen to that, play the archives. Dracy's going to put together a playlist there, and that hasn't got anyone's distributor information on it. So you can download that, share with your friends. If you talk to Dr. Wallach, you can play it to one of your associates. And that's what we're all doing at the moment. I want to thank Ken Smith for being on the call today, and moderator Mike, that's a 1-star there in Sydney, helping out with the questions. So I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional. I'm a distributor. And this call is especially for Dr. Wallach, and these calls are recorded. So I am going to go to the first person that RSVP'd to me, which was Ted Gross. Ted, if you want to unmute yourself, and you can say good day to Dr. Wallach.
Oh, hi, Dr. Wallach. It's an honor. I've been a Youngevity member for about 6 years. I've been following the protocol mostly, and it's great to be able to speak to you.
Okay, well, thank you. How can we help you today?
All right, so I've listed my details. I'm 62, 180 centimeters, 85 kilos, and pretty much I've been plagued throughout my life with severe itchy scalp and dandruff, and also I cough up a lot of phlegm, and it blocks up my nostril, so it gives me breathing problems at night.
Okay. Do you have any, you say you're 62 years old?
Yes.
Do you have any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No.
Do you have any bowel problems? Constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diverticulitis, anything like that?
For the longest time, I had bowel problems, diarrhea mostly, but that's pretty well gone away since I've started with Youngevity.
You got gluten-free, did you?
Yeah, probably about 90-95%. I've got family members that are
Okay.
not 100% committed, so
Yeah.
I do.
Well, I was looking, because I was looking at New Zealand also, and they have access to beer made from rice. Okay, and so New Zealand did pretty good here. New Zealand only has 25 deaths from COVID, and just short of 2,000 infections. They have 5 million people in New Zealand. Oregon has 4 million people and 53,000 infections and 700 deaths. And then there's Wisconsin, okay, has a 5 million population. Our state of Wisconsin has 293,000, a 250,000 infections and 2,500 deaths. And so, New Zealand can be proud of their rice beer and wine. A lot of vineyards and stuff like that in New Zealand. So if you drink wine and you eat and you drink rice beer, you're going to keep your COVID infections and COVID deaths down because there's no gluten in rice, okay, or wine. And so I just, since New Zealand is doing so much work for us, I thought I'd kind of wrestle that down. Sure enough, they're doing a great job.
If there's any consolation, I only drink Corona beer.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. So basically what you got to do, get rid of the gluten. I mean, as much as you can. Wheat, bread, rye, and oats. And at 200 pounds, which is, I kind of calculated out, you're about 200 pounds, give or take a little bit, at 80 something kilos. I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. And because you have this chronic cough, it could be osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, which causes COPD. It could be COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And the skin thing is, again, can be a gluten problem because you cannot absorb the nutrients necessary to make happy skin. I can't see because you're in the shadow there. Do you have any gray hair or varicose veins in your legs?
Well, I do have a few gray hairs. I'm 62, but I have all my hair, and it's fairly dark considering my years.
Okay. What about varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, if you do this, you get, I mean, you really crank down on the gluten and take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, you should see that gray hair go away. And that's a good thing, because the same deficiency that causes gray hair and varicose veins causes aneurysms. And you can die of a ruptured aneurysm in the brain, and a coronary artery, or a aorta, that kind of stuff. And also, if anybody has any varicose veins and spider veins, they go away, because the nutrients that are necessary to prevent those things and reverse them are in the healthy brain and heart pack.
Thanks. If there's one other thing I can add, so I've been on the Healthy Start Pack, like I said, for about 6 years. But one thing I had to change was I couldn't take the Tangerine 2.0, whether it be in the crystals or in the new capsules, because I found that I'm allergic to beetroot. I can't even take the Ultimate Classic, which also has beetroot extracted in as well. So I found out that I can go back to the original Tangerine liquid, and that's
with the blue top. Yeah, with the blue top. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that works for me. So I take that and I mix it with the Beyond Osteo FX, and that seems to be the most palatable way for me to take it.
Okay. Well, don't forget the EFAs and the EFA pluses.
Oh, yes. Yep. I take all
because they will prevent blood clots. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much. God bless you, and thank you so much for the testimony.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you very much, Ted. And just remember, everybody, these calls are recorded, and it usually takes me a couple of days to send those through to the New Zealand official Facebook page, and then they are posted there. We are going to go to the next caller, which is Sheryl Stevens. Sheryl, if you want to unmute yourself and ask Dr. Wallach a question, go ahead.
Hello, Sheryl.
Hello, Dr. Wallach. Nice to see you today in our garden. We love seeing you, and we love using the minerals everywhere.
Okay, we love you guys too. How can we help you today?
Okay, so we've got 2 people that we're helping. We've got one person whose mother is in Christchurch. She's 69. She's 49 kilos. She's had multiple myeloma, blood and bone cancer, and had treatment for that. But now she's got kidney failure and fluid retention that's causing her, a really miserable life. And she's on blood pressure meds and cholesterol meds and furosemide, which they're not sure is really helping with the water retention. She's having to go and get drained in Christchurch Hospital all the time. But we just
is she on dialysis for the kidney issues?
I understand that she is going into Christchurch Hospital once a week to be drained, but I didn't know that dialysis wasn't actually spoken about. Okay,
so she weighs about 105 pounds, US pounds, okay, and she's got kidney issues, she's got high blood pressure. Let's see here, what else has she got?
No, she's not on dialysis. I've just heard from her daughter.
No, kidney issues.
Kidney failure and fluid retention, massive fluid retention. She's not drainage, it's a blood transfusion that she has to go and have once a week at the moment. But the fluid retention and the kidney failure is really making life difficult.
Okay, is she anemic? Is that why she's getting a blood transfusion?
No, I think it's got something to do with the blood and bone cancer she had, the multiple myeloma.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want her to do. Number one, at 100 pounds, I want her to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of selenium. 1 bottle of our selenium comes with it. Our selenium has cofactors that are added to it. So don't just run to the grocery store and get a bottle of selenium. It's got to be our selenium. There's 1 bottle of our selenium with the healthy brain and heart pack, but I want her to get 2 bottles a month so she can take 3 with each, or 3 with breakfast and 3 with dinner time of our selenium. Half a dose of everything else to the healthy brain and heart pack at breakfast and dinner. I do want her, because she has the cancer history, I want her to also take our Z radical, okay, which has the fucoid in it, which comes from a brown sea algae, okay, and it's a great support of the immune system. I want her to have the capsules. It's called Fucoid Z. It's the cheapest ship because it's light. It's just capsules. Okay, the Fucoid Z. I
Yep.
want her to take, say, 3 of those twice a day. It'd be 2 bottles a month of the Fucoid Z capsules. And I also want her to take the BTT 2.0 tablets. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day. They do not replace the BTT 2.0 powder in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. The powder is the vitamins and minerals. The BTT 2.0 tablets support the immune system and will, as an anti-inflammatory, which is going to help support, anything she does for her cancer. Okay, so let's, keep our fingers crossed and see that we can help her survive and flourish from the cancer part. Okay, so what's question number 2?
Okay, so question number 2 is, that we have got friends of a family. She's 19 years old. She's got a rare disease called SPG15. She weighs 108 kilos. They've been told there's no cure. It destroys the nerve cells and attacks the brain. And she's deteriorated quite a bit lately. It's hard in the UK. They've gone into lockdown again. So I'm just
Okay, so is this a memory issue, or is it something like Parkinson's disease where they lose function in the body, or what's going on?
Yeah,
like they lose function in the body, but what they've called it is SPG15. I've never heard of that. They say there's no cure.
Okay, you have a pet bird in the background. Okay, so she weighs 200 plus pounds.
No,
and so again, 108 pounds or kilos?
108 pound, 49 kilos.
Oh, 49 kilos. Okay, so 108 pounds. So again, I want her to make sure that she's getting rid of all the bad stuff, the fried foods, the processed meats, the oils, the glutens, the wheat, butter, oats, and sugar. And then I want her to have 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per month, a half a dose of everything twice a day. I also want her to get our de-stress capsules. She can take 3 of those twice a day. I want her to get our Synaptive. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day. That's so the brain cells can talk to each other. I want her to take the Ultimate Niacin Plus. I want her to take 1 twice a day of those. That's 1 bottle a month. And then I want her to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Hard-boiled eggs won't count, and fried eggs won't count. They have to have soft yolks. So soft boiled, soft poached, soft yolks. They can be soft scrambled in butter, okay? But the yolks have to be soft because we want the cholesterol, because the brain is 75% by weight cholesterol, okay? Cholesterol does not cause Alzheimer's disease, okay? And so let's see if we can help her here. But keep in touch with both of these individuals, like, every 2 weeks. You're welcome to call anytime if they get some new piece of information from the doctor, either good or neutral or bad. Give us a call and we'll walk through this with you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, God bless. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sheryl. And are you any relation to Forrest Divins?
Yes, he's my son, Jamel.
Forrest is one of the really successful distributors. I think, how many stars? I think he's got more stars than me as an executive.
Yeah, he's doing all right, helping lots of people.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's what this calls for everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a customer, a distributor, and it doesn't matter whose group you're in, but please contact your upline to learn more about the business if you do want to earn money as a distributor, and they will help you out. Okay, so we're going to go to one of Magna's group associates, Liz. If you want to unmute yourself, go ahead. Liz, if you're there.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Liz. Yes.
Yes.
I remember we did a meeting with Linda, a Dr. Wallach presentation years ago in Wollongong, and it was wonderful to see all you guys. So,
yes, it was. It was terrific. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
How can we help you today?
Oh, hello, Doc. My daughter, she's 38 years old. She's 220 pounds, 5'4", and she's suffering with sick sinus syndrome. And we noticed, we didn't realize she had that till she was 17 years old because she collapsed in the shower, but we noticed a missing heartbeat before she was actually born.
Okay, So she's got an irregular heartbeat.
Irregular heartbeat, yes.
Okay. And she's 39 or 38 now?
38 years, yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And she's
Yeah.
also suffering panic attacks now.
Okay. All right. So panic attacks. Let's see. She has irregular heartbeat. We call it AFib or tachycardia kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And at 5'4" for a lady, I'd like to see her weigh 120 pounds, 130 pounds. She may need to lose 90 or 100 pounds.
Yes.
Okay. So very important here, especially in this COVID time. So I want her to get rid of all the bad foods, everybody in her life, you know, spouse, roommate, renter, dog, cat, bird, fish. Everybody's got to be drop dead gluten-free, so there's no cross-contamination in the laundry and the food preparation surfaces and the beds and the rugs and the couches and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. I also want her to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Okay, I want her to take Ultimate Daily Classic. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day. That's going to help circulation through the brain, through the heart, all that kind of stuff. I also want her to have, it'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. I also want her to have the, she could have 1 or 2 meals a day of the keto caramel diet, either the shake or the bar. And she'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day if she does that. Okay.
Yes.
And I also want her to have 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. I also want her to have the de-stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And also the Synaptive, okay, for more brain function. Okay. I want her to have the Synaptives so she can have 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. But don't forget those Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want her to take 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to help her with the heart rate and so forth. One other thing I'm going to throw in, but she may have osteoporosis of the skull. Does she ever complain about balance problems or ringing in the ears?
No, no.
Okay. Does she ever have any skin problems, eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
Yes, she did have.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Not now, but she has had.
Okay, so she has a sensitivity to gluten. So that's a gluten issue when you have those issues. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's imperative that everybody she's associated, she cannot work in a bakery, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
keep in touch. Let's get her going on this program.
Yeah. There's
And
Doc, I've tried to get the de-stress for myself, and it's not available in Australia. Like, we can't get it in Australia. What can we use in place of that?
okay. Well, in place of the de-stress, can you get the Fucoid Z?
I'm not sure.
We can in the capsule form, yes.
Yes. Okay. Fucoid Z. Okay. Have her take 3 of those twice. It'd be 2 bottles a month of Fucoid Z. Okay. It's an anti-inflammatory and supports the immune system at the same time. Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay. Cheers. God bless.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. All right.
All right.
I've got a question that somebody RSVP sent me during the week. John 62, 180 centimetres, was 300 pounds, was on 2 weight loss packs, and now he's around 180 pounds. He's from Victoria. So he's lost the weight, well, a lot of the weight, and he's been on the 2 weight loss packs a month now for 2 years, and off the bad foods and on the good foods. He is just asking, does he need to change his nutritional protocol, seeing the changes that he's had over those 2 years?
Yes. Well, what I would do is exchange one of those healthy weight loss packs for a healthy brain and heart pack.
Yep.
Keep one of the healthy weight loss packs. Don't go off of both of them immediately. Just go off of one, but replace it with the healthy brain and heart pack. You only go off the second pack when you get the other one in hand. Don't, get rid of one and then go 2 months without the other one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. And people always ask me, well, when I get rid of my diabetes, how long do I have to stay on the healthy blood sugar pack? Well, you can convert back to the Healthy Start Pack, but you need the 90 essential nutrients until 2 weeks after you die.
Okay, Trish has a question about a dog with a heart issue. Trish, if you want to unmute yourself from Auckland.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. It's Trish here in Auckland, in the northern part of New Zealand.
Hi.
And I spoke to you 3 weeks ago about my little dog who's got a grade 4 heart murmur. She weighs 7.5 pounds. And 2 days ago, she had a seizure and took her to the vet today. She's a little bit dehydrated and she's got high urea. They're saying it might be an early renal dysfunction, but she is 15 years old.
Okay. Well, what I would do is get her the Arthrodex. Okay.
We don't have that at the moment, so I've just started giving her some plant-derived minerals. Is that okay?
Well, yeah. And the plant-derived minerals is 1 ounce, for say 50 pounds, and so if she weighs 7.5 pounds, I'd give her a teaspoon, of the plant minerals in her food every day. Make sure there's no gluten. If you're giving her dry dog food, make sure there's no oats or anything like that in there. All right.
Yep.
And don't forget the EFAs. The EFAs are important. You give her 1 EFA and 1 EFA plus, one of each, and that'll prevent blood clots and that kind of stuff. And also, if you're going to help the kidneys, okay, because the urea is going up, again, I would get this, since you have access to the Fucoid Z, you just open up one of those capsules a day and throw it in there.
Yep.
It's an extract of the brown algae from the ocean, and it has a lot of minerals in there, but it also has anti-inflammatory substances that are in that fucoid. Okay.
Yes. I've been giving her one selenium a day and dividing it up into 2 smaller amounts of food.
Beautiful. Keep doing that.
And you mentioned last time to give her some glucogel, which I didn't have at the time. So is that still appropriate?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And how many?
I just give her 2 of the capsules.
Yep. Okay.
7.5 pounds. Yeah, just give her 2 of the capsules. Just open them up and dump it in the food.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
we got to take care of our little buddies. I mean, remember, I'm a veterinarian as well as a physician. And when I got started, I used to tell my human patients, I'm going to treat you like a dog, but you're going to get better.
I've told lots of people that.
Okay, we're on the same page, dear. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vicki from Brisbane. Go ahead, Vicki. If you want
Hello, Vicki.
unmute yourself there, Vicki. I can see you there, Vicki. There you go.
Hi, can you see me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Hold on. Okay, so Dr. Wallach, I've been on your program for since 2015. I've lost a lot of weight, but in the last year or so, I developed a tinitus. I've also got a case of arthritis on some of my toes, and I also have, I think it's candida, and what else did I put in the list? I can't remember. There was something else.
Okay, let's back up again and remind me how much you weighed. How much do you weigh?
77 kilograms.
Okay, so it'd be about 180 pounds, something like that, maybe. How tall are you?
160. So 160.
Yeah, how tall are you?
160 centimeters. I'm not sure. A meter what? Meter 60? 160? Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, do you have any, when tinnitus is caused by osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve, have you had any skin issues or bowel issues, anything, like eczema, dermatitis?
No. That's what I thought. It was just between the legs, at the top of the leg. But I was told it was some form of dermatitis. But as it turns out, I've been treating it as it were candida, and it's actually subsiding. It's actually disappearing.
Okay. Do you have any respiratory stuff? Any cough?
No.
Or hiccups? Any hiccups? Anything like that?
No. And as for my skin is perfect. I've always been told that I've got beautiful skin.
Okay. Any irregular heartbeat?
No.
let's see, do you have white, gray, and silver hair?
But probably grey at this point. My diet.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
Top of the leg, a little. Down bottom of the leg, no.
Okay. Yeah. So the same deficiency that causes white hair causes varicose veins and also can cause aneurysms. So we got to get rid of the red warning lights, the gray hair and the varicose veins, so you don't die of a ruptured aneurysm. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what I want you to do is double up on our selenium. Our selenium has 4 cofactors added to it. And one of those cofactors is what's missing and causes the white hair and the varicose veins. Okay.
I already
take
4 of those in a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night though.
Okay. I want you to go up to 3 twice a day. And do you take any MSM?
No.
Okay, I want you to take our MSM, take 3 of those twice a day. That'll help rebuild your skull, also your vertebrae and your disc, and get rid of a lot of that numbness and tingling and stuff going on in your toes. We call that a peripheral neuropathy or a sciatica. It's a low back issue, and the nerves, go from the middle of the low back all the way down into your toes and so forth. So that's why that'll all go away.
It's more, I don't have tingling, I just have arthritis.
Yeah, that'll all go away. Okay.
Okay.
But throw the MSM in there. Take 3 of those twice a day. It's only 1 bottle a month because it's a big bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're tablets. They do not replace the anything else. It's just kind of an add-on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And keep in touch every week or 2 because you're going to have a great testimony.
Okay, so I'm still taking the, do I still have to take the EFA and EFA plus? I have to take now do I have to take the, what's it called? The
Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
For the calcium.
Well, there's calcium in there. Okay. Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, there's calcium in there. All right.
Yeah. So it's pretty much just the Healthy Start Pack, 1 of those a month. And then just put the
No, it's a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It's got 5 other things added to the Healthy Start Pack.
Okay, so all right, so hold on, I've got to go for the Healthy Brain Pack.
Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
Brain and Heart, okay, pack, and then just 1 of those a month.
Well, no, I'd go for 2 because you weigh 180 pounds.
160.
160, yeah. So 160, you're closer to 200 pounds and you're at 100 pounds. Okay. And so that will help get rid of the tinitus, the ringing in the ears, which is caused by osteoporosis of the skull.
Okay.
And you'll see a lot of people your age all over the world. That's why Dr. Milano, they came out with this book here. It's called It's All in Your Head.
Yeah.
There's 25 different diseases you can get. You go to 18 different specialists where you have osteoporosis of the skull. Yeah. And so if you take care of it yourself, you reduce your risk of death at the hands of a doctor.
Yeah.
And by taking care of it yourself. That's what that book is for.
Okay.
It's all in your head. Okay.
Yep. So outside of the double selenium, the MSM, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, I still have to take the calcium, the EFA plus. I also take.
Those are in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
Okay, so fantastic.
Vicki, we've got all these calls are recorded, so just go back and listen to the recording of today. And if you're not 100% sure of what Doc's saying, just contact your upline, and they'll walk you through those products.
Okay, just one other thing. I've been getting at times. I've been getting like little thrombosis on my hands, like just a broken capillary, those sorts of things that are very painful. That's going to stop that as well.
That's correct. Now, here's what happens. When you have a gluten problem, you're not absorbing nutrients. You get what's called dysplasia, and you can't make platelets efficiently. And so any little bump, you'll bleed under the skin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's because you're not making enough platelets because you're somehow getting gluten. You cannot work in a bakery. You cannot, sell cookies and cupcakes and things like that. You cannot be eating oatmeal for breakfast. You cannot have any of that stuff because it blocks the absorption of the nutrients. And so that's a signal when you start getting hemorrhaging under your skin, you're not absorbing enough nutrients for your bone marrow to be able to make enough platelets. So
I can't even be around anybody who's eating it. Like I can't.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If
Appreciate it.
if you have family or friend who wants to come visit you, you got to make them strip out in the front yard and hose them down before they come in.
No, I'm actually a cooking teacher, so that makes it difficult.
Oh,
Okay.
ouch. Yeah,
Thanks.
you're going to have to do it virtually and remotely. You cannot be cooking and show them how to be dealing with flour and wheat and bread and all that kind of stuff. No,
All right.
no.
Thank you. Appreciate that. God
Mhm.
bless.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Vicki.
yeah, people want to be cooking and eating like Asians, rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables. No wheat, no barley and rhino oats. If you're going to drink beer, it's got to be rice beer. I like wine because it's made from grapes and berries. You don't have to worry about gluten being in it. Vodka, you don't need, you don't know, because in the old days, vodka was made from potatoes when you and I were kids, right? But today they make vodka out of wheat.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And I'll just put a link to Dr. Wallach's bookstore, drjwallach.com. Now, if you are from Australia or New Zealand, you need to call the number on that website and call business hours, Pacific time. That's where you get, I got it wrong last week. I said 500 million copies, probably the highest selling album of all time. There you go.
Dead doctors don't lie, in 9 languages.
Even in Australian.
Oh, 10 languages then.
And what you can do is get 100 made up at a time. They're still making cars with CD players. They're boomerangs.
Yes.
So you're always getting them back. Otherwise, you run out. And you can get your name, your ID number, your email.
Put on the label.
Put it on the label. And I always like to get a book. This is Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Make sure it is a boomerang. Don't just give it away because people aren't going to read it. And if you ask for it back, that means you can build your business with these tools. And you put your ID number and your phone number on your materials. And this is what we do to grow our business as well. So thank you very much for that information, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for these. We've got time for one or two. I know, I just have to mention, we can't get the MSM at the moment in Australia and New Zealand, but we can get the Pro Joint FX.
FX, okay. Well, there's some MSM in there. That's good.
Yep.
So take 3 of those twice a day. That'll cover it.
And my dad spoke to Dr. Wallach a couple of weeks ago, and he's on the Pro Joint FX. He's on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. He's on the Ultimate Daily Classic and the EFAs and a few other things. So thank you very much. Funny, he didn't listen to me for my, but as soon as we get him on the call, he's like, yeah, that makes sense. So thank you, Dr. Wallach, for helping out my dad.
You bet.
Okay, now we've only got a few minutes left, but Deb does have a question. Deb, if you want to unmute yourself, you were saying you had an X-ray or something that Doc was saying on the last call that he wanted to look at. So go ahead, Deb.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, Deb.
I was talking to you about my client with the desmoid tumour, which is actually huge. It's taken us actually with a hiccup in our deliveries 4 weeks since she received her products yesterday. So she hasn't actually started till today, but the tumour is growing and it's getting bigger and it's invading organs and things like that. So I spoke to her before, but I think I said to you last week, I messaged those photos to Steve.
Okay, good. I will call Steve on Monday.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can send them directly to you. If I had an email address or something, I can send them to you.
Okay, Malan. Okay, yeah, we have an email address for our wellness publications. Okay, and I apologize, I don't know it, but you can. Ken can get it for you.
Okay, he can just contact me. Ken can contact me.
Yeah.
Facebook or something. Thank you. That'd be great.
Okay, yeah, we'd love to see all that stuff. Will help you out. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's really panicking now because they wanted to cut it out, but people, they're growing back quickly for other people, and she's very distressed about it.
Okay.
Doc, I've got the email from the website.
Okay. Yeah, give it out. Yeah, go ahead and give it out.
Name. Get off from Jesus.
If everybody could mute themselves, that'd be great. It's Wellness 624 @gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Okay, we've got time for one more quick question. I just
Yes.
want to say, I do occasionally host training videos that everybody's welcome to, but that focuses on the network marketing side. And when I do that, I'll announce that on these weekly calls when that'll be. They're usually on the Tuesdays. Don't forget, Tracy is in corporate and she's here to help you grow your business. So if you need to know some more training, she's got the weekly calls for everybody there. And we've got one more question. We'll get this in, and that would be Doug. Doug's got a question about amino acids. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay, Doug, you're on the air. How can we help you?
Doc, I just wanted to find out, I've had a couple of people in the past that I've put on to this young lady that I've just joined up. She's 38. I didn't realize that she had actually had amino acids in the past, but it wasn't until she started out with the BTT or with our Healthy Body Start Pack 2 that she realized the amino acids were creating havoc inside her gut. So I asked her, has this been there prior to Youngevity? And she said, yes. I said, so you should have told me those sort of things.
Yeah. Well, usually, well, let me stop you there because we only have a moment. When people start having problems in their gut, it's usually a gluten issue, okay? Our products don't have any gluten in them. So she's got to look at what she's doing. Is she eating bread? Is she eating crackers? Is she eating pancakes? Is she eating oatmeal? Is she eating Wheaties for breakfast? Is she drinking beer made with wheat? Because you can take the stuff.
She has a young, she's from New Zealand, a part Māori lady. She's got some kids who absolutely love doing things like making cakes with mum and biscuits and so forth.
Okay, that's why she has those problems. That's why she has those problems, because she's getting gluten.
Yeah.
She needs to teach them how to cook like Asians and cook with rice and sweet potatoes and vegetables instead of wheat. Okay, because they will kill her, because she will not be able to absorb nutrients because she's already showing symptoms of damage from the gluten.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you.
Okay, God bless.
Thank you, Doug. And then thank you again so much, Dr. Wallach. And thank you for everybody for also helping this run really smoothly. This format is because everybody can mute themselves and unmute, and that's how we can do this. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to speak to Dr. Wallach. Yeah. I think the best is the best doctor on the planet. Ken Smith.
Well, thank you.
Ken Smith, do you want to take us out with a little bit of a few words of advice?
Oh no! Look, Doc has done everything. He's absolutely brilliant, and he is the best doctor on the planet. But he can't help anybody that you don't bring here. So it's all about bringing everybody you know to the call. And listen, we'll just put on, hundreds of spaces where people can come on, and we'll put on more, people who can moderate, and we'll just make this. Just bring everybody here. That's
well. Let's work on it. Yeah, we'll work on it. And, we'll hit 500, and then we'll hit 1,000, and then we'll hit 10,000, and we'll hit 1 million.
Yes, and we will do that.
Let's get it done.
Doc, I'll get these numbers out to you in the next couple of days via text message.
Okay.
If you want to,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. If you want to unmute yourself your end, you could say goodbye and aloha to Dr. Wallach. Until next week.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Ken.
Dr. Wallach.
Hey, Kenny. Bye.